Good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Positive and Unfiltered. We keep it very raw here, and we keep it very casual. Like I said in my previous episode, I am learning on the job. So again, give me some grace. Otherwise, today I am here for another episode that I feel is a bit controversial. But before we dive in, I want us to see this video.
Basically, there are so many fears around being a mother, right?
We will not be watching the whole video, but let me paraphrase. I'm sure you're familiar with the lady that had her tubes cut because she doesn't want to have children, and there's been a lot of reactions ever since from the public and a lot of people, and even from herself. She's come out to clear the air about what she did and what she thinks about it. And honestly, before I even go any further, let me just say this. I agree with her not on the views on everything that she said after she had her tubes cut, but I agree with her that having children is totally a choice. Everybody can make on their own. People can make a decision to have children or not, and I am a person who is pro-choice in everything that there is. Whereas we have to be guided. The things we make, the choices we make, the things that we want to become, these things have to be guided. And how do we know the choices we're making are right? How do we know that we're being guided? The guidance that I'm talking about comes from where we come from. It comes from our identity, and that identity is rooted in the families where we come from and the different traditions that we've been introduced to. So, whereas I am pro-choice, I am also pro-right choices. So, there have to be things that are made in this life, and those things, you have to consider a lot of you have to consider whether these things are going to hurt other people and how other people's views are going to affect us. So, in the essence, I agree with her that it's totally her choice to have children. And it's her choice not to have children. Like everybody else has that particular choice. And I'm also somebody who feels like the society is rotten right now. The environment that we live in is not conducive for anybody to have children. But obviously, that's my personal opinion. By thinking that, I'm not telling you guys not to have children or not to engage or not to do what. But I personally feel like we have gone so far back as a society that we do not even know the basic requirements of raising a family. Because for starters, we have failed ourselves as individuals, and we have failed ourselves as a race. We have failed ourselves as human beings, and we have failed ourselves as a gender. As different genders, we have failed ourselves, because the caption on this video is that most men are losers and use reproduction to keep women under their wings and control them. I'll admit this on this podcast. There's nothing I enjoy to do when scrolling on social media. There is nothing I enjoy doing more than watching videos of men versus women. It is very interesting every time I land on these debates or these videos, because as I'm watching them, I'm thinking and I'm wondering, why are we having these debates to begin with? What is the whole point? We are determined to say one gender is better than the other is doing more work than the other one. But quite frankly, need we have those conversations really? Because if we're all Christian like myself, let us think about it for a moment. We did not bring ourselves here. We did not bring ourselves on the earth, did we? We just woke up one day and we're here. But when we read our history, dating all the way from Adam and Eve, God created Adam, and the same God created Eve. This is somebody who created us, and he knew better for us. If he knew that one person was better alone, he'd have created that one person. But then he goes on to create another person, not because he's creating one to be better than the other, but he created two people to be together. He was creating a community where people can thrive with each other, not thrive on top of the other. So I wonder where this competition comes in. And it's been so rooted that at first it used to be fun, but now it's eroding the entire society, and now the kind of things that are coming from it are not quite good. They're not quite pleasant, because not only did this competition erode away the basics of family and relationship, it broke the entire constraint of human survival. Because now somebody to have a child thinks that they're doing the other a favor. Somebody to carry a child thinks that they're doing a bigger job than the other. It has become, I do this and this is heavier, I do that and that is heavier than what you're doing. I'm carrying this baby while you're just seated there. I'm carrying this baby while you're just there. These kind of talks, I personally feel like they are pointless, and they shouldn't even be conversations that we talk about. Because quite frankly, if God knew that we can thrive on our own, again, why did he create all of us to be in this community? Why did he create man and women? If we could thrive on our own, everybody else would be in their own space and would not even know about each other's existence. But we are created in this space to live with each other in harmony. I don't know who began the mistreatment, or who began the annoyance, and who led to the anger of the other. But whoever started it really did us a very disservice. Because I, for one, I think that it is not right to have children right now in this kind of society, because we cannot even relate with ourselves as adults. We can't have a normal relationship. We can't talk. We can't speak. We can't have an understanding between us, because these conversations are so pointless that they make it seem like by you being you, I mean, I'm not entirely meaning that this is against men, but I'm saying by the conversations make it seem like by a man being a man, that's already a disease or some kind of a disadvantage or some kind of a bad thing. And it's vice versa for the ladies too. And I wonder, when did that become a problem? So the conversations have eroded us of our little identities. So now I cannot even say that, I'm a man, because then that would sound like an insult on somebody's end. So then how are we able to relate with each other if we don't even have our own identities? You see? So in the end, we have these people that, this is a complex topic. Honestly, it's a complex thing, but it's so annoying and so amusing. The kind of heat that comes from these kind of debates, because when you sit there and watching people debate and talk about how he's suffering more and who is engaging more, who is working more, you tend to feel like there is some heated moment going to happen, and if there is no moderator, some people are going to lock horns and fight over it. But why? Why? Anybody out there that is watching this episode and is listening to this, please let me know. Why is there this constant fight of who is better than the other and who should lead and who needs who? Because in my naive point of view, I'm calling that naive because at this point I feel like maybe I could be the stupid one. But in my naive point of view, I feel like we all need each other. We came into a community, or we came into an environment, we came into a space that allows both of us to thrive. And we do not really need somebody to be on top of the other. By naming somebody a leader, let us just throw an example here, and say, picture this in an environment like a workplace. We have people like CEOs, we have supervisors, we have people that carry on the tasks. In an organization, there is hierarchy, and it doesn't mean that in that hierarchy that the CEO is better than the guy below, or the guy below is way less than the guy above. It's just a structure of things, and it's a particular structure that enables work to go on. Because let's say we're in a banking system where, banking might be difficult, but let's say we are in an organization, or we have a team of people that are constructing a house. The goal is to have the house set up so that people can move in and live in it. But who is going to build that house? We have people that push the wheelbarrow. We have the people that pile the bricks on top of the other. We have people that supervise. We have the engineers that draw the maps. So when we begin to look at those people as so and so is better than so and so, then the actual goal will not be met. But when we look at the task at hand, and the goal that we're supposed to be achieving. Then we break down those tasks into smaller tasks and assign people. Everybody's got a role to play, but it's not that we're assigning people to do, it's not that people are assigned to those particular tasks because they are less or better than the other person, you know. And this better will always come from, it's a comparison thing. It is always going to be compared to something else. Obviously, as individuals, we have something that supersedes the other, but it's not in a way that makes the other a disadvantage. It's not in spite of anybody. I could be the people that sing, you know, there are musicians that sing for us on TV. We turn on TV and we see those musicians sing. But when they sing and we don't, it doesn't mean that they're better than us. Because whereas they can sing, I could be a good poet, or I could be a good actor, or I could be doing something else in a better way than they do. So we all have those little things that are going to sort of put us in places where we can excel, but not necessarily to be spiting people for. So I like to think of relationships, or I like to think of I will not speak about marriage because I'm not married myself, but I like to think of relationships as that kind of organization where it's just the two of us, and the goal at hand is for us to have a normal relationship and move forward and grow and die together. So why would one person think that they're better than the other? Why would one person feel like by the other one being themselves, it's demeaning of them? You know, why would the other gender feel like just because they are working and earning money, they are threatening a man? Why should one success be something that the other gender spites? Why would one gender not succeed for real? I mean, it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't really make sense. And I'm asking you guys watching this to really help me here, because for me, it doesn't make sense why somebody would say that most men are losers and they're using reproduction to keep women under their wings and control. So now the very thing that we were created to do, to reproduce and multiply, has now become a thing that you know, that we use to control, that we use for control. So and so every single person that has had kids, they've been controlled by that. Quite frankly, it doesn't make sense to me. But again, I could be stupid. I could be really naive. And I'm asking you guys to help me with this. Need there really be these kind of topics? I mean, like these kind of debates in the first place? Shouldn't we be a better species? Shouldn't we further what the Lord gave us? Shouldn't we be using this space that the Lord gave us? Shouldn't we be developing each other than fighting each other? When did the measure of good character become a financial thing? When did money become a measure of good? This money, because every time now this is not just about this particular topic, but every time you hear about what constitutes a good relationship or what constitutes a good partner, finances come first. It's like when you have money, you're a good person. But we've seen a lot of people with good money, with a lot of money. We know the richest person in the world. Is he the best person because he is rich? Is he? There are things that we have used as measurements, the things that we have copied, things that are out of our identity, things that we are choosing to be defined by, but they're not things that are rooted in the traditions that we know, and we're using those things to determine what we are going to be. And we're making a very grave mistake, in my opinion. In order for you to know what is right for you, you have to know who you are. Because all of these conversations and all these debates of who is better, I feel like they're coming from a misguided identity. If we knew who we are as a people, if we knew who we are as a race, if we knew who we are as a culture, then these kind of debates would not be here. But we have turned a deaf ear to culture. We have turned a deaf ear to traditions, and we think that we know more because now we look at Facebook and we look at TikTok, we look at social media, and we're seeing people. By the way, these people that we see on here are identifying themselves in their own culture, but these are the people that we are copying. And by copying them, we are copying their culture. I'm not saying that these conversations, I'm not saying that these people talking about debating these things are bad people. But because when you sincerely watch the videos, you will see that they're sincere in what they're saying. They believe what they're talking about. The problem is they're misguided. I understand that traditions change, and by saying tradition, somebody might probably even hate that particular word, but you cannot change from something you don't know. In order for you to truly change, in order for you to become a new person, you have to have a proper understanding of your old self, because then what will be the whole point of changing? So if we want to copy the modern way of life, if we want to copy the Western culture, let us understand who our old self, what are we coming from? Because if we are just changing for the sake of changing, then we are making a grave mistake. We're going to approach relationships in a way that is helping the other person. We're going to approach relationships with a victim mindset. We're going to approach relationships with vengeance and vindictive mindset. You're not going to give your whole self. You're not going to be to love freely because you feel like by loving freely, you're doing somebody a favor. Or by loving freely, somebody is not going to love you back. How can you live with that kind of insecurity? And yet, if you cannot do something 100%, in my own life, if I cannot do something 100%, if I'm only going to give partial parts about myself, then I'm better off not doing it at all. So I imagine myself meeting somebody and I want a good relationship with them and I want to go far with them and for them and to start a family with them, only to find out that the very essence that a family issue makes them feel like they're being used, that they're going to be given this whole load of a baby and they're going to carry it all the way. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting the fact that women carry these babies for a long period of time. I was carried myself and I respect that. But when we begin to say one person is doing more than the other, we have lost the very essence of relationship, and by losing the very essence of relationship, we have failed the society. Because if we cannot relate with each other, then we go back to being animals, and even animals would become better than us. But we are meant to have dominion over these animals. How can they be better than us? So now the people that claim to be civil and educated and exposed to things, we are the ones acting like we're not. Like I said before, I am pro-choice. And I understand by ranting on, I probably have said hurtful things. I am pro-choice. But these choices have to be guided. I don't support somebody to have children when they don't feel like having children. I don't support somebody having children and then they break up. I don't support having children in broken families. I hate broken families. I am a product of a broken family. And at least many of us are. And I know my own experience that came from that. And I wouldn't like to have a child in a broken family. But what are the chances today that you're going to meet somebody and, die with them or be together until death do you apart? Chances are you're going to meet somebody and you're going to fall in love with them. You're going to have children and you're going to break up. Probably you're not even going to reach the children part before you break up. Why is that? Why have we lost the touch? Why have we lost that thing? How have we lost each other? For sure, for me, I hate these debates. I hate to debate with a girl. I know I said I love watching them, but I am disgusted by them. I am disgusted to see a girl debate with a man that you, I'm better than you. Now that I have money, I don't need you. When did money become a measure of things? We need each other. That's how we grow as a community. That's how we build a community. That's how we grow ourselves. We need each other. We need to challenge each other. Personally, I have to say this because I've never been so cautious about my own growth as I am now. And this is particularly because I dated somebody that challenges me, somebody that is tough. I'm dating a super independent woman, very beautiful in the face and beautiful inwards too. But I personally wouldn't be intimidated by dating somebody who is better than me or by meeting somebody who is better than me. In the very essence, if you meet somebody that is better than you and you want them, that should be motivation for you to do better for yourself. If you met a beautiful girl, like let's say I'll not name drop, but let's say you met somebody like those socialites, and you really know you want them, and it's genuine you want them, but you're way below. You would want to work yourself up in order to measure up. That I think is not a bad thing. But for somebody to think that just because they're earning more money, therefore they are spited, and it doesn't add up. Honestly, we needn't have these debates. We needn't have these conversations. We should live with each other in harmony. We should be loving each other. We should be caring for each other. We should be raising families with each other. We should feel secure with each other. But these debates don't build. They break us. And if adults are broken, what should we expect of kids? If we create a toxic environment that we cannot even raise our own kids, then aren't we destined for doom as a race? Aren't we headed for doom? Let me know what you think about this episode. Let me know what you think about everything that I've said. Give me your opinion. Let us talk. Like I said, I might be actually very naive. The things that I say here, I might actually have communicated all the stupidity that I have regarding this particular topic. But hey, let me know what you guys think about it. Why are women feeling so bad about being women? And why do they particularly hate men? Why is there continuous debates of who is better than who? Why are we measuring our duties? Why are we measuring our tasks that are supposed to give us a much bigger goal? Have we lost track of what our goal is? Let me know what you guys think. Otherwise, I sign out.